About 100 miles east of San Diego, there's the grade that actually takes you to Imperial Valley. It's in the summertime, it's average 100 degrees or above. And combine that with the actual with the grade with the Rumorosa and the actual stones around the rocks, the Rocky Mountains, it can get even hotter, you know. And apparently, they're still running groups in the summertime. And like I've said in other videos, you have to have the right clothing, the right footwear. You have to be in some kind of condition to actually try to attempt to actually cross through this terrain, you know. And you know, this year, this year itself, there's been 31 deaths um, through this actual section. You know, it's a big section, but not big enough to justify 31 deaths. You know, and there's actually been seven actual drownings too through that actual area. So, I mean, it's pretty it's dangerous, and I've actually pulled off agents that wanted me to actually help them navigate through them actual stones, and I refused. I refused for officer safety, and you know it's dangerous for both for the people and the actual agents that are actually working that area. You know, there's been 240 rescues just this year in itself. You know, and you just think about 240 rescues, but that's 240 actual times agents have had to risk also being hurt rescuing these actual individuals. So it's not just rescues; it's just the actual danger all the way around, you know. And speaking of danger, I'm going to be talking about a certain event that happened in Texas quite a few years, no, a couple years back, a couple years ago. And just want to bring this up just to kind of give you guys an idea how things can get twisted, things can actually um, get taken out of proportion and get reported on without actually being investigated thoroughly, you know. And I'll tell you this right now: these agents were not shot. There was at the beginning there was a rumor that they were actually gunned down. No, they were not. Okay, so apparently around 4 a.m., an alert went out to a certain section known for smugglers to actual to conceal their actual loads for dope through this little corridor. And this actual area is real rural. There's nothing around there, uh, just just landscaping and actual a road that goes through there, along with actual gullies and and washes and actual drainage systems for flash flood. So it's 4 in the morning. It's still dark, and so one actual agent shows up and um, parks his vehicle mm, a little bit far away, not that far, but far enough to where you try to actually surprise the actual individuals that if there are any there, you want to catch them off guard. So you want to kind of walk towards your actual where you're going to be actually taking a look at. You want to leave your vehicle behind. And he was by himself, so he went ahead and backup got there shortly. And he was actually going through the actual cut across the actual highway and going to almost like a gully type drainage wash man-made, and this actual this wash was actually cement. It was actually cement, and so the second agent arrives. Same thing. He actually um, approaches where his partner is ahead, and calls out a sign for an emergency. Officers are down, and they're actually in some kind of a gully, some kind of actual corridor for runoff water. So you got two officers down now, and so now that backup gets there, EMS gets there, the sheriffs get there. They get this one individual flown towards El Paso by helicopter, but he does not regain consciousness. The second one is in and out of consciousness. does not remember what actually occurred, and the report comes out. The primary primary report comes out, and not the official one. The actual primary comes out, and it results that these agents were attacked by actual rocks. They were actually hit in the head, um, and they were ambushed. You know, and these it happened so quick that these officers were not able to actually even draw their actual weapons. One disadvantage you have is that when you're actually when you're cutting sign, you're actually looking on the floor with your flashlight. You're focusing on finding any kind of actual evidence that the group is still pushing forward, and you're in the right actual, you got the right actual, you're on the right track, correct? And when you're looking at that, you got your head down, so it'd be easier for a group to actually ambush you and actually assault you from behind. And so now you got these two individual agents that are pretty, one of them passed away, the other one's pretty bad hurt. And on the political actual and the news media, it got blown way out of proportion. There was a lot of actual accusations of who did it, who can conduct these type of actual hits on actual agents. They made this actual case very political, and the end result that the coroner and the FBI uh, came to the conclusion that there was no group that actually assaulted these two officers. There was no known DNA on anything near these two officers. They were about 20 feet apart, and there was no DNA on any rocks, any rock throwing, any kind of actual assault. There was no actual sign. It was actually uh, it was actually classified as accidental. These agents just overran the path, overran the gully, overran the wash, and they fell face first on cement and hit some rocks along the way. And so there was no group and there was no rock throwing. There was no shooting, nothing of the sort, but it got pretty exaggerated, blown away, you know? Okay, guys, hope you guys like and subscribe.